This exercise we're going to use an existing drawing, a drawing that you made yourself. You can also use the pen drawing of Vincent van Gogh of the trees, but I think it's nicer to use one of your own drawings. And then we're going to hatch and cross hatch in 1-inch squares to create the average value of what is visible. I'm now actually showing first the values, how it is. The curtain is a lot darker. The background on one wall is fairly light and the other wall is fairly dark, but not really dark. The floor is really dark, and the furniture itself. So I am actually now hatching and cross hatching the details of my drawing so I can then with the micron go over it, not over the drawing itself. I make a separate drawing of this. And here is how I go about. I'm going to put the grid on the whole drawing, divide everything up in 1-inch squares. Then I'm going to put it upside down. Then I'm going to copy the whole drawing on a piece of blank sketch paper. And then I'm going to divide that in 1-inch squares as well. Then I'm going to look at the average value of each square. I hope that all makes sense. If it doesn't, please rewind the video and look at it again. What I'm trying to do here. On the right side, you see a whole sheet of different values. This was of a portrait of somebody, but it's so coarse that you cannot really see anything. And you will see that I am adjusting the whole exercise a little bit too, because in this drawing, there are not much strong light and dark areas. So here I'm putting the grid on top. You can chop it up in inch squares, or you can get a ruler and then do it from there. I think this is a lot easier to use the grid and then divide it. So now on a blank piece of paper, I'm going to divide the same grid as well. I'm going to copy the drawing upside down, which is so easy now because of the 1-inch squares. This is how the old masters copied small drawings onto huge walls. And when I did the wall painting of the University of Miami, I also chopped everything up in 1-inch squares, the design, and then 1 inch became 1 foot on the wall, which it really made it so easy to do. So you should not have any problem with this, and at the same time be as accurate as possible. Don't try to make shortcuts, and you also don't have to hatch or cross hatch the drawing, just the outline. You want to know which square you are actually working in. And then you're going to put it the right side up, and you're going to look at every square with your micron pen to see what the value is. Again, I told you so that I was not happy with the 1-inch square because almost everything was an average value of, I would say, 40 to 50%. So then what I did was, going from the middle, I divided those squares up in 1/2-inch squares again. You will see it as you watch the demo, and you can do that too. You can actually divide the whole drawing in 1/2-inch squares if you want to. So if you have strong contrasts over long stretches, that's a lot better. This was actually very gray, but it doesn't matter. You do what you think is best, and I changed it. So now with a 0.005 micron, I'm going to do every inch. In a way, this is not a bad exercise to see how long stretches of the same value could really work if you do it 1 inch at a time. And you definitely can always do that, because from a distance, it is always a value, not a bunch of lines. Now this micron is almost gone. It has very, very light ink lines, which, if that is the case, if you sometimes have that, use that for the lightest light in your drawing. You can mark that micron as being almost empty and use that for the lightest values. Now I grab a fresh micron and you see already immediately the difference. That is a little bit darker. I can go further away with my lines, but I don't want to. I probably want to make the other ones a little bit darker as well. So go about this. View it as a meditative exercise. It's definitely not something that you're going to rush right before dinner, 10 minutes. I can do this. If you see me do it fast, remember that the video is just very fast, and I also am taking my time doing this. In the meantime, I can look outside the window. I have some music on, and I'm actually really enjoying this, although it is very time consuming. The two middle strokes of 1 inch, I'm going now to divide in ½ inch, because as you see, I am looking at all the average values and they're practically all the same. And that's not what we want. Although it's not even that bad as an exercise. You learn to make values on small surfaces so that the bigger surface is not intimidating. Good luck with this, and I'll see you in our next Zoom meeting. So here I'm dividing the two most center 1 inch squares into ½ inch squares. And now I can bring more definition to the whole picture. It's still not that much, but it's a lot better than what it was. So please do that too if you want to. And if not, then you can also find another picture. It could even be a photograph if you want to do this, or painting that you made. The idea is that you practice the hatching and the cross hatching.